Federal Judge Aileen Cannon just issued a very interesting order regarding special counsel Jack Smith's attempt to modify the conditions of Donald Trump's release. In other words, put a gag order on Donald Trump to stop him from continuing to lie that he is the intended victim of assassination attempts by the Department of Justice and the FBI, which is patently false. And Donald Trump claims that the overall use of force policy that's used by the FBI and the Department of Justice in all search warrants that are executed in the United States of America means they are targeting him with assassination. Special counsel Jack Smith says that false statements like that being made by a convicted felon like Donald Trump, who's a criminal defendant in the Mar-a-Lago document case before Judge Aileen Cannon, is causing death threats and other potential violence to take place against FBI and DOJ agents. And all special counsel Jack Smith is saying is Donald Trump does not have a First Amendment right to lie that the DOJ and FBI is trying to kill him in a case where he is a criminal defendant for stealing national defense information, our nuclear secrets, war plans, and other very sensitive classified information. So here's the order from Judge Aileen Cannon. Then let's break it down what she is doing here, because she is allowing special counsel Jack Smith and the parties to submit supplemental briefing on this issue after a hearing took place earlier in the week. Here's the paperless order. We know Judge Aileen Cannon issues these paperless orders as opposed to actually making substantive rulings. It's part of her delay strategy. But here's what she writes. In light of the extensive, newly submitted materials filed by the special counsel and defendant Trump in support of and/or in opposition to the special counsel's motion to modify conditions of release, the court will permit the parties to file one final supplemental brief in response to those newly submitted materials, not to exceed 10 double-spaced pages on or before July 5th, 2024. The court takes note of the additional court orders included in Composite Exhibit 11 to the special counsel's recently filed Notice 652, consistent with the court's statement during the July 25th, 2024 afternoon hearing. The court will consider such orders as cited legal authority on the motion, not as part of the developed evidentiary record in the proceeding, and not for the factual findings set forth in those separate proceedings. The evidentiary record on the motion is closed. Absent leave of court, no further exhibits shall be attached to the authorized final supplemental briefs, signed Judge Aileen Cannon. So as she says there was a hearing that was held earlier in the week on July 25th, or rather on June 25th, 2024. I think she accidentally said July 25th, 2024. That's why I was like, what did you say there? So that was earlier this week. Special counsel Jack Smith filed supplemental briefing that showed all of the threats that Donald Trump had been making and how it was actually causing, in the real world, threats against law enforcement officers, against the FBI, against DOJ. Special counsel Jack Smith also submitted all of the other orders in other cases, like the order where a gag order was imposed in the Washington, D.C. federal criminal case against Donald Trump, or the gag order that was imposed on Donald Trump in the Manhattan District Attorney criminal case, or in the civil fraud case. What Judge Cannon is saying here, though, is that she will accept those orders where gag orders were imposed on Donald Trump for the law that's cited, but not for the factual findings themselves by the judge, and not for the evidence that was actually included in those specific orders as to why the judges imposed gag orders. So, she's saying here, like, look, Jack Smith, submit more stuff, but Donald Trump, don't worry, I'm not really going to take a look at what the reasoning was, why those judges ultimately, or the facts those judges relied on in imposing a gag order upon you. But what she's responding to here is this notice of filing by special counsel Jack Smith. You see it here, document 652, where it says, pursuant to the court's order at the June 24th, 2024 hearing and related minute order. It's just interesting that Judge Cannon's all over the place. She's talking about a July 25th, 2024 hearing. Just shows you how kind of sloppy she is. It's a June 24th, 2024 hearing. Pursuant to the court's order at the June 24th, 2024 hearing and related minute order, the government notices this filing to complete the record in support of its motion to modify the conditions of release. For the court's convenience, the government includes here all exhibits in support of its motion and denotes in brackets the docket citations in this case for exhibits previously filed in the record. So here's what Jack Smith provided Judge Cannon with. Exhibit number 1. The statements giving rise to the motion to modify release conditions. Trump's statements alleging a plan by the FBI to kill him and his family in connection with the August 8th, 2022 search of Mar-a-Lago. And Jack Smith provides all of Donald Trump's social media posts, all of Donald Trump's campaign emails. Exhibit number 2, examples of Trump's surrogates amplifying his statements alleging an FBI plan to kill him. Notably, they cite the @Patriots post embedding Steve Bannon's podcast excerpt. Exhibit 3, example of Trump's statements regarding the FBI. And here's another statement from Trump regarding the execution of the Mar-a-Lago search warrant. Exhibit number 4, examples of threats against the FBI following Trump's statements. So here they have all of the times the FBI was threatened directly correlated to when Donald Trump was lying that the FBI was trying to kill him, and other threats that were directed at Donald Trump as other threats that Donald Trump directed at the FBI as well. Exhibit number 5, example of Trump's statements regarding judges and court staff. Here are other social media posts by Donald Trump where he attacks court staff and judges. Exhibit number 6, examples of threats against judges and court staff following Trump's statements. So here are the statements Donald Trump's made about other judges, about court staff in general, and here are all of the threats that are received by these judges and by the court staff. So if you take a look here, for example, subsection C is in the Engoron, Justice Engoron matter, the civil fraud case. Here are the various threats that Justice Engoron cited that his office and that his chambers were receiving after Donald Trump would make the statements about Engoron. But what Judge Cannon was saying in her order is that she will look at the authority that was cited by Judge Engoron and judges like that, but not the evidence that's contained in there, which is just very odd. Exhibit number 7, example of Trump's statements regarding prosecutors. It goes on to say the things that Trump, all the attacks that Trump made on prosecutors, then examples of threats against the prosecutors following Donald Trump's statements. Exhibit number 9, example of Trump's statements regarding potential witnesses, then the threats that would take place against the witnesses by Trump's followers. And then Exhibit 11 is relevant court orders not cited in the government's pleadings. And that's where Judge Cannon says, the court takes note of the additional court orders included in Composite Exhibit 11 to the special counsel's recently filed briefing, and that the court will look at the authority but not the actual facts relating to the threat. So what's Judge Cannon doing here? Kind of what we suggested that she was going to be doing. Go back and watch some of these videos. Delay, delay, delay. Have supplemental briefings. Submit more authorities to us. Remember, Jack Smith went to Judge Cannon and said, look, this is an urgent matter. Our FBI and law enforcement here, are potentially, could get killed as a result of Donald Trump's behavior. She slowed it down. You need to meet and confer longer. Let's hold a hearing about it. Submit supplemental authority about it. Submit more supplemental authority about it. Let's talk about it soon. Give me some paperwork in July. Maybe we'll do more supplemental briefing. That's how she's utilizing these paperless orders to kind of create more delay in a very kind of simple motion, which is Trump's a criminal defendant. Just modify the conditions of release to impose a gag order. Every other criminal defendant would face that. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million subscribers together. Thank you for watching.
Real quick, Meta just changed their algorithm to suppress political content. Please follow our Instagram @MeidasTouch right now as we head towards 400,000 followers so you don't miss a beat.